Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. This here's Portie's Garage. We're not actually in the garage today, we're in the dining room table, and it's because we are looking at a dash cam. T-Dawg has been really looking at dash cams for a while now, trying to find a good one, has good quality and have that OEM style look. Came across MANGOAL, we're talking to them, and they've given us the opportunity to use one of their dash cams in T-Dawg's F-150. T-Dawg, tell us why you wanted one.
So living in a metro area, we've got a lot of Yahoos on the road. It's always good to have something like this just as a security peace of mind. Hopefully I'll never need it, but in case something does happen, at least we'll have the evidence of what happened and should help smooth things over.
And the cool thing about MANGOAL, as T-Dawg was researching this, it looks like it's really easy to install, and we'll take you through that. It looks like it's very OEM quality and fit and finish, so it doesn't look like you're getting some aftermarket piece of junk hanging on your windscreen. So also very high quality 4K, and it does have an easy to use app that we can show you a little bit later in the video how to install that and then how that works with the dash cam. So let's go ahead and rip it open and see what we got in the box.
Sounds like a plan. All right, without further ado, let's see what we got inside. Look at this, nice packaging. Feels solid. All right, here we go. We've got a little bit of networking instructions here. We'll get to that later. Looks like we got a nice user manual, nice and thick. Looks like it's going to be really detailed, make this installation a breeze. We've got in here, this looks like the main show here, the dash cam itself. Yep, look at that. They even put stickers over the lens to cover it in shipping. Look at that power screen. Looks like we got an option for an SD card here. All right, this is looking solid. What else we have in here? This looks like it's gonna be our wiring harness here. Oh, look, they included the SD card. We've got a couple of tools, a little trim prior here. And then this in here looks like it's gonna be our mount. So let's go ahead and pop that out. Look at that, they even put some nice, it's gonna be hard to see, but it's almost a felt right there, so we're not gonna be scratching up my windshield. Wiring harness here, this looks OEM. It's even got the protective felt on it. Nice, wrapped up in some loom. This is quality stuff. We've even got forward, and this is the Type B camera. And in here, this looks like it's going to be our rearward facing camera. Again, lens is covered up with some sticker here to keep everything safe. I'm guessing this is a little adhesive bit to affix it to my rear glass. That looks like that's about it.
Yeah, just kind of looking at this instruction manual, holy cow, it's got just about everything you would need in here. All, great words and pictures to reference as you go through it. Looks like it's pretty well modified here to allow you to go through and put everything together. All right, I think now's the time. Let's go tear into this and get it installed in your F-150.
First step we're gonna do is getting our mounting bracket affixed. So first thing we gotta do, look over here, we're gonna see one bolt screw right there, and MANGOAL is kind enough to send us all the tools we're gonna need for this. So use the supplied Torx bit, and we're gonna remove this screw. There we go, easy. And now we're gonna take our bracket, just pop it right over, and use the supplied hardware to affix this to the mirror mount. There we go. And now as part of the whole wiring deal, we're gonna have to pop this cover off here. So again, our tools are included, we're just gonna pry around up here. There we go. There we have it. Just a couple little clips in here. Pop them out. And now we're ready. So what we're going to do next, we're going to move on. If you are doing the front-facing camera only, you're probably almost halfway done with this whole project. However, we are going to be installing the rear-facing camera too, which probably is going to be the most time-consuming part because we're going to have to run a wire all the way from here to the back glass. So let's start working on that. As you can see here, we got plenty of wire to work with. I'm sure you could even reach the back if this is a full-size F-150 with the quad doors. Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to start by removing this overhead console just to give us a little more area to work around. Again, pretty easy. We're just going to start over here. Few tabs to pop out. And there we go. Now we're sitting pretty. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to try and just see if I can fish this wire through without removing the headliner. Fingers crossed it works, but if not, it's not that difficult to take out. So let's give it a shot. What we're going to want to do is, here's our camera end. Just unplug this so we're not fishing the whole camera through. And all right, we weren't able to fish it through, but good news is it's not going to be that difficult. So we are going to pull these two coat hangers off, and then that should allow us to pull this down a little bit. Maybe I can reach my hand in here and fish it out. These are easy enough to remove. You just got a little plastic piece right here at the bottom we're going to pop out. And then again, using the tools supplied by MANGOAL, all we got to do, unscrew a couple screws. There is one. And there is two. Now let's see if we can find ourselves a cable. Oh yeah, we're in business, baby. There we go. And we are going to want to bring it through our access panel. And here we go. We're ready to make our connection in the front. Just going to coil the rest of this cable up in the headliner here, and we're ready to make our connection in the back. All right, folks, now that we've got our cabling ran for the rear camera here, it's time to install the rear camera. So if we take a look at it here, we've got some instructions. Please make sure the screen is not upside down before installation. There's an arrow pointing that way. It leads me to believe we're going to install it like this. And the cool thing about this I want to mention here is we're dealing with a pickup truck here, so the rear glass is going to be totally vertical. If you got a sedan or something, this actually rotates, so that way you can get the angle right and you have your camera facing perfectly out back. So we'll get it set up there. Let's remove this protective camera cover, our adhesive backing, and go ahead and slap this puppy on the glass. And just to note, I did go ahead and clean the glass before we did this, so we're making sure we get a nice, good connection. Now, plug her in. Make sure we're lining up our tabs. We'll tuck the rest of this cable up here. And just a couple of screws and a center console to pin up, and then we'll have it back to normal, get back to the front, start working on the meat potatoes. You may have noticed a crease while I was working on this, but as you get everything buttoned back up, it'll come back to its true form. And again, we just got tabs right up here. Slide them in. Now that the hard part's over, we're gonna go ahead and actually get the camera installed here. So what we're first gonna do is look at the back of the mirror. We've just got a little electrical connection. There's a tab on the bottom, push it up, pull it right out. Now we're gonna take our camera, again, remove the protective cover for the lens here. And this is just gonna clip right on. Just line up your tabs. Woo, easy. Now, this is what I'm really excited for. So MANGOAL is the choice because they make it easy. This is actually just a full plug and play system. We don't have to run anything to the battery. We don't have to run anything to our fuse panel. Just all working over here. So what we're gonna do, take our wiring harness here, and the power that is going to the mirror, we are going to splice into that with this Y connector. Okay. Now we're gonna take the other end of that, plug it back into the mirror. So our mirror's still gonna have all of its functionality, all of its lights and auto dimming and everything. Now off of that pigtail here, we've got one connector that is going to plug into the dash cam for power. Just like that. We're gonna go ahead and connect our rear camera to the front camera. And this is pretty cool too. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be using it today, maybe later, but there is an option to plug into your GPS here. So that way you can have metadata on where your filming actually happened while you're out there. So now that we got everything connected, we should be good to power her on. And we're just gonna take our wiring here and tuck it away up above the headliner. All right, looking pretty good here. And the one thing we're gonna wanna do before putting this back is make sure we've got our little mounting tabs here. And you can see where they fit. We just wanna make sure we don't have any wires in the way. Like this one, we definitely got some wires in the way. There we go. Factory finish. Now that we've got everything set up, we're going to do a little setup with the phone here. So, very nice. The instruction manual gives you a little QR code here. We're going to go ahead and scan that. It's taking us to the App Store here. And we're at the SkyCam app. We're going to go ahead and get that. There we go. Download super fast. Open it up, agree to some privacy settings here, and we're going to go add camera. Now, we will allow, while using the app, install the camera and power it on. So, cool thing about this camera is it turns on and off automatically as long as it's getting power. So there we go. We heard the ding. She's awake. Okay, so now we're going to connect to the camera's Wi-Fi here. And we're looking for Wi-Fi E970SP. Oh, here to go. To join this. Password 12345678. Join. Let's try turning off my Bluetooth here. That might help. Okay, now we're back in the app. Add camera. And there we go. We got a live viewing of the front of the car. Take pictures. We can switch between the front and the back camera. Do a little recording action. A whole lot of stuff you can do in this app here. And it is telling me one thing here. The memory card is abnormal. Please format or replace the memory card. And that is because we have not put the memory card in yet. So this will be nice. I was reading about it on the app. You can watch live feed as long as you're within 10 feet of the camera. But this memory card here, it's just going to passively record all the time that the camera is on. We've got a slot in the side here. There we go. Okay, one thing we're seeing here, we see memory card is abnormal. Please format or replace the memory card. This is really easy. Again, this app makes everything easy for you. So what we're gonna do is go to camera settings here. Scroll on down to format. And we are going to format our drive. Format successful. And there we go, we're recording. We should be able to pull this file and hopefully, in case that nothing like that happens, switch between the front and the rear cameras. We can turn the microphone on or off if you want to. I'll leave it on so people can hear my music. In settings, you know, there's a lot to play around with here. You can change resolution, exposure. We're keeping it on 4K. It's got collision sensing. I guess there's a little gyrometer built into the camera here. Parking monitoring, collision detecting. If your car gets hit, it'll turn on and, you know, record a minute or so of that. And just a lot of settings here to play with. So really cool product. All right, just gonna give you a little flare demonstration here how this all works. So we're gonna turn the car on. And I'll give you a little notification that it's powered up. And we can see here there's a couple of little lights on it that tell you what's going on here. And there you go, it just told me it started recording. Good job. We've got solid red LED Wi-Fi not working, no red LED Wi-Fi is working. We can see no red LED showing up over there. And then if we look down here, blinking blue LED means video recording started, solid blue LED stop video mode. And if we look here, we're blinking. Just like it said, we're recording. And then now if we look at the rear cam here, it does have a couple of lights too. Solid red, rear cam is working. No red, rear cam is not working. Here we go, we got our solid light, rear cam's working. And then there are a couple buttons here too. One, power button right here. And that would be if for whatever reason I didn't want the dash cam on right here. All I gotta do is long press, hold it for 5 seconds, it'll turn off. And then we got a photo button right next to it that will take a photo. So let's try and take a snapshot. It makes the camera noise, look at that. And then, you know, if we did want to try and power it off, let's try that. Yep, look at that, lights are off. She's powered down. I think we're getting the hang of this. One thing that's really, really cool about this camera is I'm sitting here at my regular driving position. I can't see anything at all. It's all nicely tucked up underneath the rear view mirror. So when I'm here at driving level, can't even see it. It just looks like it came right from the dealership.
Okay, there you have it, guys. We got this awesome dash cam by MANGOAL installed. Thank you, MANGOAL, for helping us out with that. Very, very super easy install. Zero tools involved except for what ManTool gave us, so didn't have to even open up the tool chest at all. So if you like this video, please give us a like, subscribe. We're going to throw some links down below for MANGOAL's Amazon site, which will have a code in there that you can get 10% off, as well as a link for their regular website. So check it out. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some road footage on this. We'll throw this in the back end. So again, please like, subscribe, click those links, get yourself a MANGOAL dash cam.
You won't regret it.